What is known and not known about the Bermuda Triangle? The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico in the North Atlantic Ocean since the mid-20th century. The area has been the subject of an urban legend which claims that many aircraft and ships have disappeared there under mysterious circumstances. However, reputable sources dismiss the idea that there is any mystery. The idea of mysterious disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle was first mentioned in a 1950 article by Edward Van Winkle Jones in the Miami Herald *. This article was shared by the Associated Press and appeared in several American newspapers. 2 years later, George X Sand wrote an article called "See Mystery at Our Back Door" for Fate magazine. This was the first time the triangular area associated with these disappearances was described. Sand wrote about several incidents that had occurred since World War II. These included the disappearance of the ship Sandra, the loss of Flight 19 in December 1945, a group of 5 Navy bombers on a training mission, the disappearance of the passenger plane Star Tiger in January 1948, and the loss of a fishing boat with 3 men, including jockey Albert Snyder, in March 1948. Sand also mentioned the disappearance of an airborne transport DC-3 flight traveling from Puerto Rico to Miami in December 1948 and the Star Aerial passenger plane in January 1949. In 1960, Flight 19 was discussed again in the American Legion magazine, where author Alan W. Eckert noted that the flight leader had been heard saying strange things like, "We cannot be sure of any direction, everything is wrong, the ocean doesn't look as it should." In 1964, Vincent Gaddis wrote an article for Argosy magazine titled "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle." He suggested that Flight 19 and other disappearances were part of a pattern of strange events in the area, going back as far as 1840. Gaddis later expanded his ideas into a book called Invisible Horizons. Other writers built on Gaddis's ideas, such as John Wallace Spencer in his book Limbo of the Lost 1969. Charles Berlitz in the Bermuda Triangle 1974 and Richard Weiner in the Devil's Triangle 1974. Many of these authors included supernatural explanations for the disappearances. Triangle area. The boundaries of the Bermuda Triangle have been described differently by various writers over the years. In his article for Fate magazine, George X Sand described the triangle as a watery area roughly bordered by Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Later, Vincent Gaddis refined this description in his Argosy article, identifying the triangle's points as Miami, San Juan, and Bermuda. However, not all writers stuck to this definition. Some expanded or shifted the boundaries, with the triangle's total area ranging from 1.3 to 3.9 million square kilometers, 0.5 to 1.51 million square miles. In some cases, the triangle was even stretched as far as the coast of Ireland, as noted in a 1977 BBC program. Because of these varying definitions, whether an incident is considered to have occurred within the Bermuda Triangle often depends on the writer's interpretation of its boundaries. Notable incidents: HMS Atalanta, the sail training ship HMS Atalanta, formerly HMS Juno, vanished along with her entire crew after departing from the Royal Naval Dockyard in Bermuda for Falmouth, England, On the 31st of January 1880, it is believed that she sank during a powerful storm that crossed her route a few weeks after her departure. The inexperience of the crew, consisting mostly of trainees, may have contributed to the tragedy. At the time the search for the ship's fate gained worldwide attention, comparisons were often drawn to the loss of another training ship, HMS Eurydice, which sank in a similar manner in 1878 after leaving Bermuda for Portsmouth. Decades later, HMS Atalanta was linked to the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. However, this claim was thoroughly debunked in 1997 by author David Francis Rain, whose research showed no mysterious circumstances surrounding her disappearance. USS Cyclops. The largest non-combat loss of life in U.S. Navy history occurred in March 1918 when the collier Cyclops vanished without a trace, along with her 306 crew members. The ship, carrying a full load of manganese ore and operating with one engine out of service, disappeared after departing Barbados on or after the 4th of March. There is no definitive explanation for the Cyclops' disappearance, but theories include storms, capsizing, or even enemy action during wartime. Adding to the mystery, two of Cyclops' sister ships, Proteus and Nereus, were also lost in the North Atlantic during World War II while transporting heavy loads of metallic ore, similar to the Cyclops' cargo. In all three cases, structural failure caused by overloading with denser cargo than the ships were designed to carry is widely considered the most likely reason for their sinking. Carroll A. Deering. The Carroll A. Deering, a five-masted schooner built in 1919, was discovered run aground and abandoned at Diamond Shoals near Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. On the 31st of January 1921, the circumstances of the abandonment remain a mystery. The FBI conducted an investigation into the incident, exploring various theories, including piracy, sabotage by domestic communist groups, and involvement by rum runners during Prohibition. However, none of these explanations could be conclusively proven, leaving the fate of the ship and its crew unresolved. Flight 19. Flight 19 was a training mission involving 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers that vanished over the Atlantic Ocean on the 5th of December 1945. The squadron's flight plan was to fly east from Fort Lauderdale for 141 miles, then north for 73 miles, and finally return over a 140-mile leg. However, the flight never made it back. Navy investigators concluded that navigational errors likely caused the planes to run out of fuel. During the search for Flight 19, a PBM Mariner rescue plane with 13 crew members also disappeared. A tanker near the Florida coast reported seeing an explosion and an oil slick, but found no survivors. The weather was worsening as the events unfolded. The PBM Mariner had a known history of explosions caused by fuel vapor leaks, particularly when heavily loaded with fuel for extended missions, which may explain its loss during the search effort. KC-135 Stratotankers. On the 28th of August 1963, to U.S. Air Force, KC-135 Stratotanker aircraft collided and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean about 300 miles for 180 kilometers west of Bermuda. Some accounts claimed there were two separate crash sites more than 160 miles to 160 kilometers apart, fueling speculation about the incident. However, research by Larry Kush debunked this idea. He found that the unclassified Air Force investigation report stated that the supposed second crash site was thoroughly examined by a search and rescue ship. It turned out to be nothing more than a collection of seaweed, driftwood, and an old buoy. This clarified that the incident involved a single collision and crash, not two separate events. Douglas DC-3. On the 28th of December 1948, a Douglas DC-3 aircraft, designated NC 16002, vanished during a flight from San Juan, Puerto Rico, to Miami. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the plane or the 32 people on board was ever discovered. A Civil Aeronautics Board investigation concluded that there was not enough information to determine the probable cause of the disappearance, leaving the incident an enduring mystery.